this one.
Oh, now I can talk. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to call this meeting of licensing, hearing, and public safety to order. We'll start with the roll call. Alder Gravine? Here. Alder Kelly?
Here.
Alder Borst is here. Alder Heidemann and Alders Prella are excused. If you'll all join me, rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we'll move on to the approval of minutes from the April 13th meeting. Yes, thank you, Chief. Looking for a motion for the approval of the meeting minutes for April 13th.
Motion to approve minutes?
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
So we'll say we have a motion by Alder Gravine and a second by Alder Kelly.
We have a motion by Alder Gravine and a second by Alder Kelly. Any discussion? All in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No, ayes have it. Motion passes. Public comment. Is anybody here for public comment this afternoon on any matters that we have on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. We will now move on to item number 6, which is the appeal hearing. The hearing on the appeal of Reagan McKay, finding her dog to be a dangerous, vicious animal pursuant to SMC 880. I'm going to turn it over to City Attorney Majerus, who will provide us with some insight and guidance about how this quasi-judicial hearing will work.
Thank you, Alder Bors. So today is an appeal hearing. It is a quasi-judicial hearing before the Licensing, Hearing, and Public Safety Committee. I will be here representing the committee. The police chief, Kurt Zempel, will be representing the police department. The owner is present and will be representing themselves. The owner's dog in this case was determined to be vicious pursuant to the Sheboygan Municipal Code. The police department will present evidence, including witness examination and exhibits supporting their initial determination that the animal qualifies as vicious. The owner may cross-examine the police department's witnesses. After the police department closes their case, the owner will present their case via testimony and/or witness examination. The owner may testify themselves as well. The police department may cross-examine those who testify on the owner's case. Rules of evidence do not apply to this hearing. The committee should consider only relevant evidence in deciding whether the animal is vicious. After close of evidence, we will review the exhibits to ensure the record is complete as the parties intend it to be. If you have questions for either party, please note them on the provided sheets, and the committee chair will ask them on your behalf. We want to approach committee-based questioning in this way to ensure the questions are tailored to the facts at issue. Witnesses will be sworn before testifying. The police chief, as well as the defendant, will be given an opportunity to make an opening statement and/or a closing statement. Those statements are not evidence. They are an opportunity to provide a summary overview of the evidence or the case as the individual intends to present. They are optional. You do not need to present an opening or a closing statement. At this point, does any member of the committee have questions? All right, and the final note that I'll offer is that witnesses will be asked to swear under oath that the testimony that they are giving is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth prior to providing evidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Majerus. We are going to start with Chief Zempel. Chief, would you like to offer your opening statement?
Yes, I would. It's a little noisy out in the hall and very hard to hear you all up there. Hopefully we'll be able to rectify that here.
So, Casey, I'm going to ask that the doors be kept open.
You got the other side open.
Okay. Well, it looks like Matt's closing that, so we need to keep some doors open to the room. There's a group of young children in the vestibule, and that's the noise at the moment.
Can we have that one open and this one closed? I hate to be difficult, but all the noise is coming right in here, so. Or we'll just talk loud, and I'm sure they'll be on their way shortly. So thank you. Again, just to reiterate, you're going to be hearing the presentation of a case regarding a dog that was declared vicious due to biting a person on the face. Section 872 of Sheboygan Ordinance defines a vicious dog as follows. Any dog except one assisting a peace officer in law enforcement duties that has done any of the following. 1, caused a serious injury to or killed a person or domestic animal. 2, caused an injury by biting a person on the face or neck. And there are some other definitions, but those are the two that are relevant to this case. So the incident occurred back in October of 2025, and the victim of the dog bite is here, and we'll hear from him about the circumstances that that he received the bite. You will learn that the bite was not provoked in ways that the ordinance specifies as assuming an unprovoked attack, which is under Ordinance Section 8-79, which says that the attack, chase, or injury of a person or domestic animal by an animal shall, in the absence of contrary evidence, be presumed to be due to an unprovoked attack. However, a dog shall not be deemed to be dangerous if it bites, attacks, or menaces any person or animal to A, to defend its owner, caretaker, or another person from an unjustified attack by a person or animal. B, to protect its young or another animal. C, to defend itself against any person or animal that has tormented, assaulted, or abused it. D, to defend its owner or caretaker's property against trespassers. And E, that is actively committing or attempting to commit a crime. Or F, that is violating or attempting to violate an ordinance that protects persons or property. None of those circumstances will apply in this case either. And so we would ask at the end that you uphold the vicious dog declaration.
Thank you, Chief Zempel. Ms. McKay, you have the opportunity to make an opening statement. Would you like to do so?
Hello, I'm Regan McKay. I'm here today to try to prove to you guys that my dog is not vicious. So I hope I can do that. I have statements and pictures of him if you would like to see.
Whenever we get to your option to present your case, then you can provide those to us at that point in time.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Chief Zempel, this is your opportunity to call witnesses. We need to remember that we're going to swear witnesses in before they give testimony.
Yes, I think we'll start with Justin Licht. Is it Light or Licht? Licht, okay. Yeah, if you could head up to the podium over there, please.
Hello, I'm Justin Lick, the one who was attacked.
Mr. Late, we're just going to swear you in quickly.
Okay.
If you can raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Chief Zempel, your opportunity to ask questions.
Thanks. So Justin, where do you live?
Where was I when?
No, where's your house? Where do you live?
Oh,
What's
my
your
residence, I'm sorry. Washington County, West Bend.
Okay. And were you up in Sheboygan last
Semple?
October?
Could we have the witness state and spell their first and last name, please?
We can.
I came to West Sheboygan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. She's asked if you can spell your first and last name for the record, please.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. Justyn, last name Licht.
Thank you, sir.
Justin, what's your address in Washington County?
177 East Washington Street, West Bend, Wisconsin, 53095.
Gotcha. Thanks. And so did you come to Sheboygan last fall?
Yes, my mother lives up here, so I'm between her house, my house. But on this separate visit, I was with a friend.
Okay.
And that's what ended me up in Sheboygan. So
And so is that the visit that you met Regan?
yes,
Okay. Tell us about what happened that night.
it was just kind of like a quiet, slow night. My friend came to visit her friend, and I was like, "That's fine, let's go," And met her, and it was pretty much just a quiet night where we were kind of sitting on her bed watching TV, and I remember getting up to use the bathroom. I'm sorry, and when I came back, my spot on the bed was on the other side of the bed, but her dog was laying here, and my friend was laying here, and I went to go try to nudge my friend like, "Hey, we should go," And when I turned back, the dog was looking at me, and I'm like, and I'm like, hey. And by that point, the dog lunged at me, and I at least, got enough to get my hand in front of it. But, like, it was just one of those, like, lightning flash kind of situations where I was just like, holy crap. And luckily, she woke up. She's like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, I didn't even see the mirror yet, but a little bit of shock. But that's pretty much what happened in a nutshell, so.
Okay. So when you came up, you'd spent some time here. I mean, it didn't happen right away. You'd been here for a while?
A couple hours, yeah.
Okay. And was that at Regan's house?
Yes, at Miss McKay's house.
And so you had been around the dog for a couple hours?
Yeah. We wasn't really necessarily in the room with us, but he just kind of came around as he came around because it's his place, so.
Okay. And when you went back in, you said you were going to wake.
I was trying to wake my friend and let's go, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
the dog noticed me and probably didn't remember me from before I went to the bathroom, but.
What's the friend's name?
What was her name? Trinity, thank you. Trinity.
And I understand you two were neighbors in West Bend?
Yes, we were.
That's how you got to know each other?
Yeah.
Not well, though, right?
Just peripheral friends, like, hey, what are you doing? Let's go have a cigarette. That kind of like neighborly
Okay.
jargon, if you will.
Okay. And so that's why you ended up at Regan's house, was because
Yeah.
that's where Trinity was going?
Yeah.
And you came along? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so when you came back in to wake her up, did you do anything to the dog? Did you touch the dog at all?
No.
Okay. Were you when you were waking Trinity up, how did you try to do that?
Her foot was kind of right here, so I just started nudging her foot. And that's what I think got the dog's attention, because it was like, what's going on? And I'm just kind of, don't mind me, but by that point, I already had the dog's attention, so it was kind of like locked and ready for me. But
What was Regan doing at this point?
I think I'm not sure if she was on her phone or watching the TV program, because like I said, we were watching TV. And after the dog latched onto my face, I kind of got her attention. She's like, got the dog to calm down, and she's like, whoa, you need to go to the hospital. And by that point, I went into the bathroom, and I was like, I think I do, and it's kind of one of those nights. But
Okay. When you went to the hospital, which hospital did you go to?
Angels, it's like Sisters of Angels or something. I'm sorry, I'm not from Sheboygan, but
It was a hospital in Sheboygan?
yes.
Was it St. Nicholas Hospital, maybe?
I don't think so. I don't remember where it's like Sacred Hearts of Sheboygan, I think is what the letters I've been getting from the hospital, it's for them. But yeah, I forget which hospital it was.
Okay.
It was probably 1-ish in the morning, I think.
If the medical records say that you were treated at St. Nicholas Hospital in Sheboygan, which is part
that's
of
the
Hospital
one, yeah.
Sisters, would you believe that to be accurate?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I want to show you some medical records and some photos, if that's all right.
It's fine. Okay.
So first of all, Justin, I want you to look at the two photos on the sheet
Yep.
that has a case number on the top, C25-18768. And then it says Justin Licht Photos, St. Nicholas Hospital.
Okay, then that is the one.
Okay. So can you tell me what's in those photos?
Basically what it looked like after receiving the dog bite, and I think it was probably after they cleaned it up a little bit, because it was a little bit worse than that. I remember when I went into the hospital, but excuse me.
But certainly that's your face
Yeah.
in the first photo, and that's the injury that you received from the dog bite? Okay. Do you remember how they treated that injury?
wonderfully. They were the best doctors I've dealt with. I swear, like me and the doctor were laughing so hard at one point. 'Cause I'm like, at least it's time for Halloween. I might win the contest at work. And but because there was multiple layers of the face that needed to be sewn, and like the whole staff, hands down, was just wonderful. And the
Great.
sheriff or the officer who dealt with us too was really on top of their game. So
What did they do to treat it?
they shot me up with whatever they do to numb the pain, and then basically they didn't have time to shave it because I had a pretty big beard going, but they just sewed it up. They sewed the original layer up, which was like the deeper, and then they went and did the second layer, and then I think we were out of there maybe a half hour, 45 minutes later.
Do you remember how many stitches you ended up getting?
13, I think. And I probably got that wrong, but
So let me have you look at the other document that the first page has a couple of barcodes at the top. It says authorization for disclosure of health information. And so if you turn that open to page 6. About halfway down the page, there's a line that starts number of sutures.
oh, okay.
See where that is?
Getting there.
It's right above the word approximation. If you find that one in that first column, it's,
Okay.
yeah. So there's a bunch of headings. It's treatment and then deep subcutaneous skin repair and then approximation. Right above approximation.
Oh, sutures, 28. Okay, and now I see it.
So it says there are 3 subcuticular and the remainder are simple uninterrupted. Does that sound accurate to you that they would have?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So it took 28 sutures to close the wound.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've still got a bit of a scar there?
Yeah.
Not anything that your friends are too put off by?
I'm like, whoa, what happened to you, man? But no, it's all right. I'm a skateboarder and a drummer, so I'm full of scars anyways. But
Okay. Drummers get a lot of injuries?
yeah, unknowing to us too, we're like, oh man, did I do that? You know,
Okay.
part of the gig, I guess. Like,
So I got to ask you a couple other things here, Justin.
yes.
What did you tell the hospital staff happened?
That I was attacked by a dog. Didn't get into the full story because I was kind of in shock. But yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. This is how we use these things. See, even drummers learn. But anyways, like, I basically gave like what had happened in kind of my version of what it was, especially with the shock setting in too. But what had happened and then what had brought us there.
Okay. And eventually a police officer showed up to talk to you about it?
Yeah, to take a statement.
What did you tell the police officer happened?
Basically the same thing because I was just still kind of rattled, I guess, a little bit. But
What did you tell him about the dog that bit you?
it was big, it was scary, and it bit me.
And where did you tell him that bite took place?
Right here on my cheek, and then also on my...
I mean, where in the city?
Oh, I think my friend handled that part of the questioning because like I said, I'm new to the city and I don't really know Miss Regan's apartment or anything like that. And so she explained where that side of the town was because, you know, I'm a out of towner, but yeah.
So did you tell the officer the truth about where it happened that night?
Yeah, I feel I did.
Well, did you call the officer about a week or two later?
I did to like if it, you know, if there was anything that I'd missed to just give him that because he was still, you know, working the investigation, I guess. So I was just trying to be compliant and, you know.
Do you remember telling the officer later on when you called that you had decided not to tell the truth at at the hospital about what happened?
I did not.
So during that phone call, you told him that the dog that bit you belonged to Regan.
Yes.
And is that what you told him the night at the hospital?
That I can recall, yes.
Okay. So would you have told him during that phone call that you didn't come forward with that statement about the dog being Regan's because you were in shock and didn't know what to do about it?
That's more than likely what I would have said, yes, that I recall.
Did anyone suggest to you that you say it was not Regan's dog?
Not that I remember, no.
Okay. All right. I don't think I have any other questions.
Anybody else?
Ms. Kelly, do you have any questions that you would, Ms. McKay, pardon me, do you have any questions that you would like to ask?
Oh,
You can-
If
you-
if you do, you can come.
Yeah, you can come up over here to use the microphone if you have other questions.
No. Okay. Thank you, sir.
you're welcome.
Chief, do you want to call your next witness?
Yes, I would ask Regan McKay to come next.
Ms. McKay, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Regan, can you spell your first and last name for the record and give them your address, please?
REGYNMCKAY, and I live at 1216 St. Clair Avenue in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Okay, how long have you lived in Sheboygan?
Going on 4 years.
And have you lived at St. Clair the whole time?
Yes.
And how long have you owned a dog?
For 9 years.
And can you describe that dog for us?
Yes, he's a Staffy/Pit mix. He's black and white. He's 64 pounds. And yeah, his name is Kingston.
Okay. And how long have you had him, you said?
I've had him his whole life since he was like a month old, 2 months old.
And so where did you live with him before Sheboygan?
I lived in West Bend.
Okay. Have you ever bought a license for him?
I did not. I didn't know I had to do that.
Does he see the vet regularly?
Yeah.
When's
He's
the
up
la-
to date on all his shots. He saw the vet in December for his wellness check.
Did you tell them at that point that he had bit someone?
No, I did not.
Okay. So you remember the night in question back in October when the bite that Justin described happened?
Yes.
That would have been October 19th. Does that sound like the right date for you?
Yeah, around that. Yeah, somewhere around there.
And that happened at your house on St. Clair Avenue?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and tell the committee members what you remember about what happened?
Okay. So that night, it was a weekend, I believe, and my friend Trinity wanted to come over, but I was just not really in the mood to do too much that day, so I was just sitting home watching TV, and then I was on FaceTime with my other friend from Colorado. And then I finally agreed to let her come over. I didn't even know she was with someone else. And I guess they had been drinking. And so they came over. She didn't tell me the whole time until she got there because they walked in together. And that's when I found out she was with somebody else. And then, yeah, it was pretty chill at first. We weren't really doing anything. I was on FaceTime. Trinity was pretty tired. So I was laying on my bed. He came and laid on my bed too, which was kind of weird because I didn't know him. But then Trinity laid by my feet, and then my dog was so she was laying on my right side by my feet, and my dog was laying on the left side of my feet, and he was facing the door, and Trinity's head was like by his back. And then he got up and he was just like walking around the house. I don't know what he was doing, but I was just on FaceTime still at this point. And this was after about like an hour or two, maybe. And then he went to the bathroom, was walking around the house, doing whatever. And then, so my dog is facing my door. He came in the doorway and he was just standing there for a second. And then, he went and like grabbed my dog in the face while he was sleeping, and that's when my dog kind of got startled and jumped up, and then that's when the bite took place. And then he ran to the bathroom, And I was just sitting there in shock, like, what just happened? I didn't even know my dog bit him because he didn't make a noise or do anything. So I went to the bathroom, me and Trinity went to the bathroom to go check on him, and I just saw blood. So I was like, oh no, he bit you, and then I made him go to the hospital.
And so you described that he grabbed him by the face, that Justin grabbed the dog by the face.
Yeah, while he was sleeping.
Can you describe what that was like?
Yeah, he just went up to him and just like grabbed him in the face, like he was gonna be like, hi, buddy, or something, but he was, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like you're describing an intent to try to hurt the dog.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
But I mean, he doesn't know my dog, so I guess I wouldn't go up to a strange dog like that if it were me, but that's just me.
Okay. Had the dog growled at him or anything earlier?
No, he made no noise. My dog is very chill. Like when they came in, he came and sniffed them. Didn't show any aggression. It was just like it just happened when he was sleeping and he grabbed his face. But he seen the dog before that. The dog was fine. He pet him and everything before that. So
they were getting along okay until this?
yep.
Okay. So what happened when you got to the hospital?
When he got to the hospital, we told him he got bit by a dog. We didn't tell them the correct story that night because we were scared. So we made up a story saying that after the bar we went, even though we never even went to the bar. That was made up too. So we made up a story that we went to the bar, and then after the bar we went to a after party thing, which never really happened. We were just scared, in shock. It's my dog, that's my baby. Didn't want nothing bad to happen, so.
So whose idea was it to not tell the
All
real
of
story of
us,
what happened?
we all planned this in the house already. Before we even got to the hospital, so.
Okay. And so everyone agreed that they wouldn't tell either the hospital or the police where the bite occurred or what the dog...
Yeah, we honestly didn't even know the police were gonna get involved. That was not even a thought in my brain at the time, but yeah.
Okay. Since that time, where's Kingston been?
He's been at home with me and my
Okay.
dad.
And do you remember getting some paperwork that your dad provided earlier this year?
About claiming that, or about stating what?
So do you remember there was a form that described the dog being declared vicious?
Yes,
Okay. Did you read that form?
yes,
Are you aware that it requires compliance with the vicious dog requirements pending a hearing?
yes,
Okay. And you're aware that vicious dogs cannot be kept in the city?
yes, the police told me that, yes.
Okay. Did you make any arrangements to have Kingston placed somewhere else pending this hearing?
No, because if he has to leave, then we're all gonna leave, so.
Okay, so he's been at your house ever since?
Mhm.
Okay. And he saw the vet in December, you said?
Yes.
And he received a rabies vaccination at that point? Or was that...
Yeah, but he's had his rabies shots his whole childhood up to now, so he's been good on all his shots.
So what do you do when Kingston needs to go outside?
I take him outside on the leash.
Okay. Is that a leash that you hold, or do you tie him up to the house somehow?
I hold it.
Okay. And he's always on a leash when he's outside?
Yes.
Do you put him in any kind of a muzzle or anything when he's outside?
No.
Do you have a muzzle?
No.
Okay. Thank you. I don't think I have any other questions. Actually, I'm sorry, I do, if it's all right. I do have a couple other questions. Did you get some citations from the police department about this incident?
Yeah, I think I got one for The story that we made up.
So would that have been obstructing?
Yeah.
Okay, for not telling the truth to the police in the first place?
Yeah.
And then was there another ticket?
I believe so. I cannot think of what they were though at this moment.
Would it have maybe been for failing to license the dog?
Oh yeah. Yep, that's what it was.
Okay. All right. Had you been getting any messages from Officer Dobius since this incident?
Yes, we have talked on the phone multiple times about just steps I had to take and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Thank you. Now I think that's all. Thank you.
A follow-up question for clarity. You had stated that you didn't realize that Justin had been bitten, but you had also stated that you saw him grab your dog's face. Can you explain to us how you would have seen that happen but not see the bite?
Yeah, so I had lights in my room at the time. So the real lights were off and only the kitchen light was on. So it was pretty dark in my room. So that's basically, and so his hands were covering like that part. So I just saw my dog basically lunge or like get up, but I didn't see him physically bite his face. And because I was on like this side and my dog bit him on this side of the face, but I could only see this side of the face.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
And then I do have the statement.
We'll call you back up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You'll be able to provide, sorry.
What were you going to say?
I was gonna say I do have the statements and stuff.
Okay, so right now, this is the police's case, and then you'll get a chance to present your case,
Okay,
and then you can present that.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Chief, do you have other witnesses?
I do. I would like Officer John Dobius to testify next.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
If you can spell your name for the record again.
Yes. First name's Jonathan, Jonathan. Last name Dobias.
Thanks. And Officer Dobius, where do you work?
I work as a police officer with the city of Sheboygan.
And how long have you been a police officer?
2.5 years.
And how long have you been with the Sheboygan Police Department?
2 years.
Okay. Were you on duty the night of October 19th or into the night of October, the morning of October 19th, 2025?
I was.
And assigned and working as a patrol officer with the city?
Yes.
Did you receive an assignment to go to a hospital regarding a dog bite?
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened with that assignment?
So I was dispatched to St. Nicholas Hospital. I arrived on scene, and medical staff showed me to the room where the victim and 2 other individuals were inside. I had contact with them where I was interviewed, took photos of the bite that had occurred, and tried to gather information on what had occurred. While I was in there, I was informed by them that this dog bite occurred elsewhere in the city, but they could not remember the address nor the location of the dog bite or the individual who would have owned the dog either. They claimed that they were at a bar previously and then were invited back to this residence.
And just to confirm, I didn't ask for these to be marked as exhibits, but if we could, if we need to do so, the photos could be Exhibit 1 and the medical records Exhibit 2.
I have Exhibit 1 as the medical records
Oh.
and the photos as Exhibit 2.
That works too. So I'm just holding up Exhibit 2. These are photos. And I can bring them over. Do you recognize those photos?
I do.
What are they?
They're photos that I took at the hospital of the dog bite.
And is the person in the photos here too?
Yes.
And can you identify him, please?
Yeah, he is seated over on to my right wearing a plaid shirt.
Thank you. So you said that the story that you got was that they weren't clear on where the dog bite occurred or who the dog was.
Correct.
Did you eventually get additional information about what actually occurred?
Yeah, it was approximately about a month later that I received a call from the victim. He had informed me at that time that he wanted to make a statement that the dog bite occurred at Reagan's residence and that it would have been Reagan's dog.
And if your report reflected that that phone call took place on November 4th of 2025, would that sound right to you?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do after you learned that information?
I then attempted to contact Reagan to gather additional information from her and why that story wasn't initially given to me or provided to me at the hospital.
And what kind of luck did you have getting a hold of Reagan?
I had very little luck. I attempted to make contact over the phone and in person at her residence, and neither of them. Several times I attempted, I was unable to.
So what did you do after those attempts?
I talked with my supervisors about getting assistance from other shifts to make contact with her during other periods of the day.
And were those successful?
They were not.
So what did you do then?
We finally went with certified mail in an attempt to go through the certified mail process to get that served to her.
And what was the outcome of that?
They were unable to serve that mail.
So the mail was returned, the certified mail was returned?
Correct.
Okay. And what did you do after that?
I had attempted several additional times to make contact with Reagan. I was able to get in phone contact with her once about it, where I attempted to have her come in person to the police department to make a statement regarding her side from the incident.
Do you remember when about that would have occurred that you finally got a hold of her?
I don't.
If the report reflected that it was March 4th of this year, does that sound right to you?
Yes, that would sound right.
Okay. And what did you decide to do as far as enforcement action based on what you learned from Justin?
Based on the information I had received from Justin, I went forward with a obstruction city ticket as well as failing to register a dog with the city of Sheboygan.
And what were those citations based on?
Based on the fact that there was no in-house record that Reagan has any dog recorded to her, and the fact that the story I was now getting from Justin was completely different from what I got from Reagan.
And what ultimately was the result of not getting that information that night?
It extended and elongated the time for us to identify the dog and the location it happened, and for us to go through the standard procedures of deeming what would occur with a dog.
And can you just describe for the committee what's required for us when there's a dog bite that takes place? What sorts of notice do we need to give to the owner of the dog?
So the main thing that we have to give to the dog is we have to have their information on if the dog is currently vaccinated for rabies and up to date with all their vaccinations, as well as making sure that the dog is registered with the city. Sorry. Yes, we have to make sure that the dog is up to date with all current vaccinations, as well as make sure the dog is registered with the city. If the dog is not up to date with any vaccinations, they have to be, well, either way, if they are updated or not, they have to see a vet to quarantine the dog, to either quarantine in their own residence or quarantine at the vet's office to ensure that the dog is rabies-free.
And then regarding the other part, when there's an injury or aggressive behavior on the part of a dog, did you describe that part as far as the determination of dangerous or vicious dogs?
Yes, it's all also through the city. That would also be a part of it if the bite was deemed or based on the statute for the city ordinance. If it fit in with that ordinance, it would go forward. Based on the bite being on the face and the hand, I determined that the dog would have been deemed vicious at that time.
Okay, give me just 1 second, please. And so you're familiar with the definitions of dangerous and vicious dogs in the ordinance? Obviously not entirely off the top of your head, but you're familiar with what those criteria are to deem a dog dangerous or vicious?
I am.
And did you talk about the circumstances of this case with a supervisor to help you make a determination regarding those definitions?
I did.
And what was the determination that you made?
Based on the ordinance and the wording from it, it was deemed that dangerous would not be sufficient as the dog bite occurred on the face, so we deemed that the dog would be vicious.
And so you were here for my opening statement, and you heard me talk about some exceptions to declaring a dog dangerous, that there's a presumption of an attack being unprovoked. What in this case led you to believe that the attack was unprovoked?
Based on my phone contact with the victim, Justin, he informed me that he did not do anything to provoke the dog into the attack. So based on that statement, I deemed it dog vicious.
All right. Thank you. I don't think I have any other questions.
Thank you.
Um,
Pardon me. Ms. McKay, do you have any questions for the witness? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, John.
Officer, I'm sorry. Can you come back? Can you explain to us what Justin told you at the time that you arrived at the hospital, what had happened?
Yeah, so at the time I asked Justin what had occurred. He informed me he was unfamiliar with the area or where exactly he was at when this occurred. He also said he was unfamiliar with the dog. He just described the dog as a big brown dog.
Okay. And could you tell us, yeah, I think you answered this, I'm going to ask the question anyway. Did the dog bite occur in a bedroom? Did he have anything to say of that nature?
I didn't get specific details at that time. I did get confirmation later that this would have occurred in a bedroom.
Okay, thank you. Chief, your next witness?
Let me just confer with that potential witness for one moment. I don't have any other witnesses. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
No other witnesses. Thank you.
thank you, Chief. Ms. McKay, you have an opportunity to present your case at this point in time, if you'd like to come up to the podium.
So I can just start
And-
by,
Sorry, Ms. McKay.
Ms. McKay, if you're planning to testify on your own behalf, we're first going to ask you to certify under oath, and then you'll be able to just speak normally. You won't have to ask yourself questions or anything like that.
okay,
If you can raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
So the first thing I do have to say about the whole getting in contact with the police and stuff, so I do work second shift. So every time that they try to call me, I was at work, or in the morning, I was sleeping. So, and then I did try to call back the police station multiple times, and I wasn't able to get a hold of anyone. And then every time he would show up at my house, I was at work, so he would only get my dad. So I did try to get back in contact, just was unable to because of the shift difference. But when he asked me to go in to the police station and write the statement, I did do that, like the next day. So, but I do have statements from people that have been around Kingston. Some old and some new, so.
If you'd like to submit those as evidence, you can provide them to us, and Attorney Majerus will submit the exhibits and share those with us.
Okay. I have, yeah,
You have copies?
yeah.
Okay.
So I have this one. 1 second. I'm just gonna hand this to you first.
Thank you.
So, me and my boyfriend have been together for 4 months now, and he's been around Kingston every single day.
Hold on, state that again at the microphone, please.
Okay. So me and my boyfriend have been together for 4 months now, and he's been around Kingston about every single day. And he's never had any issues. with him, being aggressive. He lays in the bed with us. We play with him. We've taken him to his roommate's house, and they've even met him and played with him. We take him for walks out on the street and never had a problem. Then I also have a statement from a longtime friend that's been around Kingston.
Thank you. In addition to your own comments, were there any witnesses that you wanted to call?
Witnesses as far as like when
The
it
events-
happened?
The events that would have happened that evening or? any
No,
other-
I don't.
Okay.
No witnesses. And then just so you can kind of get an idea of who Kingston is, I have pictures, if you would be willing to look at them.
If you'd like to provide those as evidence, we can look at those.
Yeah.
We will have to enter them into the record, though, so we will have to keep them.
Okay, that's okay. So. And in a lot of those photos, well, some of them, you can see him around people. He's never had a problem with anyone up to that day when he was sleeping and that man went in his face.
Did you have any other testimony you wanted to provide?
Oh, I do have vet records as well, yes. If you're willing to take them.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Let me give this back to you because you should have this with him. Yep. You're welcome. So the photos are being entered as Exhibit 5 as one collective body, and the vet records as Exhibit 6.
Okay.
And just to be clear, you didn't have any witnesses that you wanted to call, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll have you stay there. Chief Zempel, you have an opportunity to ask any questions that you would like to.
I don't have anything additional.
Thank you. Just one second. Is your vet aware of the bite that took place?
No.
In the visits that you have taken the dog to the vet, has the vet expressed any concerns about your dog?
No.
Okay. In the statements that you provided, the exhibits that you provided, one of those does state that you take the dog for walks every day, is that correct?
Yes.
It is your understanding, based on the information provided to you by the police, that there would be a concern about him being in the community on those walks?
He's never had a problem when I take him on walks, but I don't really know how to.
Let me rephrase that. Were you aware that it would be in violation of the information provided by the police department for you to have him out in the community?
Oh, I was not aware.
Okay, thank you. Just one moment. That's all we have for you. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
I'd like an opportunity to ask a follow-up question regarding one of the questions that was just asked.
Yes. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
So this will be Exhibit 7.
Just confirming, Chair, you said Exhibit 7? Thanks. Regan, do you recognize that form?
Yes.
Can you describe it for the committee?
It's the form I got in the mail. Or no, that the officer brought to the house.
Okay, so you got this form from your dad?
Yes.
And so at the top it says dangerous, vicious dog notice. Can you read the part that's bolded in the middle of the page and underlined?
No person may harbor, keep, maintain, or permit to remain about his or her premises any vicious dog within the city of Sheboygan.
Okay, and so when did you receive this form?
I don't know the dates.
But it was sometime this spring, earlier this year?
Sure. I'm not sure.
I mean, more than a month ago?
More than a month ago.
Okay. And you earlier told us that Kingston has been at your house ever since this incident?
Yep.
Okay, and that if you're taking him for regular walks, that's occurring since you got this form as well?
Yes.
Okay. Can you also read for me the second to last paragraph?
Pending the decision upon hearing, the owner must comply with the provisions of restrictions on dogs deemed dangerous. Officers may impose additionally restrictions on a dog deemed vicious, pending arrangements for its removal from the city.
And it says, or euthanasia, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so did you make arrangements with any of the officers for additional arrangements pending this hearing?
No.
What were the instructions that you got about what should happen with Kingston?
The only instructions I got was that we were gonna have to do this meeting.
Okay.
That I had to, set up this meeting. So I thought he's not very much deemed vicious yet until after this hearing.
Okay, thank you. I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Ms. So Chief, would you like to make a closing statement at this time?
I would, thank you. So as you heard, we have dangerous and vicious dog ordinances to protect the community, and we expect that dog owners in our community are behaving in a responsible way with their pets so as to not put other people at risk. I think you've heard from the testimony today that there was not only an incident that happened that would meet the definition of a vicious dog because the injury was serious and took place as a bite to the face or neck, which is unusual in and of itself, and which is why there's a distinction between a dangerous dog versus a vicious dog who would cause an injury to the face or neck. But that in addition to that incident taking place, there was an effort to obstruct the investigation on the part of the dog's owner, and that Ms. McKay convinced her friends to basically tell a story that was not true to the officer to avoid taking responsibility for that incident. It's not just that. Virtually every municipality has requirements to license dogs, and that even though she's lived in Sheboygan for the last 4 years, certainly we expect dog owners to be aware of the requirements to license the dogs. And then it really has been an extraordinary case with trying to follow up and having the officers get a hold of her to try to move the investigation forward once we learned a few weeks later that what she told us initially was not the truth. When these ordinances were passed about 15 years ago, the police department assured this council that we would only use these ordinances in cases where it was necessary to protect the community. The reality is that dogs are unpredictable, and that dogs can be loving and adorable one moment and violent the next. That's just the nature of animals, and dogs in particular. And that seems to be what happened in this case, that a dog can be a loving pet and at the same time put other people at risk because of aggressive behavior and violent behavior. And that when we have an incident like this, if the community can be reassured that the dog owner, or when we have aggressive behavior by a dog, if the community can be reassured that the dog owner can handle the dog and is willing to put practices in place to make sure that there isn't further risk to the community, then it would be reasonable to allow that dog to continue to remain in the city. But that is not at all what happened in this case. Aside from the fact that Ms. McKay lied about what happened, there was extraordinary efforts on the part of the officer to try to get a hold of her to follow through with the requirements under state statute for the quarantine, which is to determine whether the dog might exhibit signs of rabies so that we don't transmit or don't have instances where rabies is being transmitted to people, which again is in the person who was bit in their interest to ensure that they don't have to go through a series of very painful shots to make sure that that rabies hasn't been transmitted, but then also to make sure that that if the dog is out in the community, that there's not a risk of the dog being at large or coming into contact with other animals or people that they might act aggressively towards. I think the circumstances here certainly warrant the vicious dog declaration, and that, well, certainly Mr. Licht may have gone up and touched the dog on its face. Even Ms. McKay doesn't describe it as an attempt to try to provoke the dog or hurt the dog, and that most people, when they encounter a dog, would do the same in kind of a, an affectionate way. And in most cases, dogs don't respond by biting that person in the face. And so, given the circumstances here, I would ask the committee to vote to uphold the vicious dog declaration. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Ms. McKay, would you like to make a closing statement? Oh, apologies. There you go. Thank you.
I just want to say that my dog is not vicious. He's not aggressive. As you can see in those letters, he's been around multiple people, even after the fact. It's been months since that happened, and I've never had issues before that. It was kind of just an unfortunate, event. And I'm sorry that happened to him. But what I want to say is I didn't convince anybody to lie about the situation. I did not convince anybody to lie about the situation. I didn't force anybody to lie about the situation. We all came up with the idea. It was not just me. And my dog has, like I said, met how many people since this happened, and nothing, he's never shown aggressive behavior, nothing. So, yeah, I just hope you guys can really take into consideration that this is my family. So, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief, you have the opportunity for a rebuttal statement if you have one. Thank you.
All right, so before we convene in closed session, I'm going to review the exhibits to make sure that the record is complete as the parties intend it to be. So I'm going to start at the beginning. We have Exhibit 1 is the victim's medical record. Exhibit 2 is the photographs of the victim's injury. Exhibit 3 is a letter from a Mr. Flores. Exhibit 4 is a letter from a Mr. Granados. Exhibit 5 is the series of photos provided. Exhibit 6 is the veterinary record from December 5th of 2025. And Exhibit 7 is the template dangerous vicious dog notice provided by the police department. Are there any other exhibits that were not addressed? I see the police shaking his head. Ms. McKay? No. All right, the record is complete, so we would be now looking for a motion to convene in closed session.
Second.
We don't have to read the whole thing.
So, yeah, we will read the whole thing from the agenda. Motion to convene in closed session to deliberate all of that language.
Okay,
Oh,
so if you read the whole motion,
I can pull the agenda up if you
I don't, or,
oh,
Motion to convene in closed session under the exemption contained in Wisconsin statute S 19.851A for the purpose of deliberating regarding the appeal of Reagan McKay.
Second.
motion made by Alder Graveen, seconded by Alder Kelly. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No opposed. We will convene in closed session.
Debate it and then come back with a decision, however long it takes, and I'm not sure. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, that's the next step, so.
We're looking for a motion to reconvene.
I motion to reconvene in open session.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion by Alder Kelly, a second by Alder Gravine. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, sorry.
So number 9 we have is possible action regarding Reagan McKay appeal of the initial determination that her dog is a dangerous or vicious animal. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to affirm the declaration that Kingston is a vicious dog and to order the release of Kingston to the care of the Humane Society within 7 days pending rehoming or relocating outside of the city limits. Kingston shall not be subjected to Humane Society care for more than 30 days. If not able to rehome or relocate, the Humane Society shall be permitted to euthanize Kingston. Pending release to the Humane Society, Kingston shall be leashed at all times when not on the owner's property and shall not be allowed within any city park or public event space.
Do we have a second?
Second.
The motion was made by Alder Gravine, the second by Alder Kelly. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Ms. McKay, do you have any questions for us that you would like to ask about that motion? Any clarifications or anything of that nature? If you can come up to the podium.
So, if I can find somewhere else for him to go, then he can go there, or?
So you're going to get a copy of this, specifically all the wording that we just provided to you.
Okay.
You will have 7 days to rehome Kingston. Within that 7 days, if you're not able to rehome or relocate Kingston outside of the city of Sheboygan, he can be surrendered temporarily to the Humane Society for a period not to exceed 30 days.
Okay.
At that point in time, over that 5-week period essentially, if you're unable to rehome, then he would potentially be surrendered for euthanization.
Okay.
In the meantime, that during that initial 7-day period, you do have to comply with the regulations that were stated that essentially he must be on leash at all times when not in your premise, and that he cannot be at any city park or public premise where people are gathering.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Kelly.
So we can relocate in 7 days, basically, with him.
Yes.
Just not in the city of Sheboygan.
Correct.
Okay.
And if you need longer than that, that's when you would need to take the additional step to surrender him temporarily to the Humane Society for a period not to exceed 30 days.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay, we'll now move on to item 10. Resolution number 22627 by City Clerk approving alcohol beverage tobacco licenses. City Clerk, did you have anything you wanted to share or add regarding these renewals?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, these are all renewals or change of premises for events this summer. All of them were reviewed between us and the PD and the Attorney's Office, and there are no issues.
Thank you, City Clerk. Any questions from any of the alders? No questions? Then we are looking for a motion to, Attorney Majerus, did you, oh, sorry, that would be Alder Gravine.
I'll make a motion to approve the licenses in Resolution 22627.
And a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Those will be referred to council for approval. And we have exhausted our agenda at this point in time, so our next scheduled meeting is May 11th, 2026. So I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion made by Alder Kelly,
Second?
Second by Alder Gravine. All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.